Woo! New intro!
That's so fucking cool!
How cool was that?
That was amazing!
That was so great. Massive thanks to David, aka Sci-Fi Brony, for putting together, like an absolute dude, some new
Like an
intros
absolute
for
dude.
us. Absolute legend of a dude.
Holy shit, that was amazing.
You're going to see some new intros as we venture through different iterations of Trek. So cool.
Oh my gosh. That was incredible.
So
oh, Sarah, you missed it.
Oh, that's easy, Sarah. We can fix that. Oh, wait, Paulie missed it as well. Let's go again. No, I'm kidding.
I was not going to doubt it. Honestly, I had forgotten / never listened clear enough to the super high, like that was operatic levels. Oh my God. So I decided not to watch that. Ian told me something might be happening and he gave me an option and I decided not to watch it because I wanted to see it for the first time with you guys. That was so
Bravo,
fun.
Sci-Fi Brony.
I love how the counter slowly gets bigger and then we have like more Centerprise stuff going on, it felt like.
Just going on with like a little time warp. He also updated the nacelles to like a little bit more old school because
I wondered about that because they had like the little bulbs on them. Oh my God, let's do it again. And then yeah. Make sure that like I can do the audio and then we'll like okay, one more time. We're not gonna do this. Okay, yeah, there it is.
Oh wait, why is your audio still in there? Okay,
because I put it there. I want to hear it.
You mute right? Okay, hang on.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, it's getting bigger. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Kind of slowed down there. That was nice. Okay, here it comes. Look at him. Okay, I'll do it again. Okay. One more time. I forgot to mute myself on that part. That was sorry about that. Guys, look, we cut Twix's beard off.
Look, this wasn't me. It wasn't my idea. They took his mustache away. You're gonna have to hang on. Let's full screen this.
I think he's trying to apologize to me because I was trying to give him a treat a moment ago. And he straight up got so excited he nipped at my finger and like indented it and shit.
You draw blood?
No, he didn't draw blood. He got in there. No, why? It's a great question. So we had to do this for Reese's 5 weeks ago because he got into, I think it was candy, and they could not get it out of his face hair, and so they had to shave off all of his beard.
Nice. I understood that reference.
And then when Iris saw Reese's, she said she wanted to have Twix's face like that. Like she preferred it.
Yeah.
And so it happened.
I don't
know. I don't.
I love how you just whack his head on the mic. Thud.
He's fine. It sounds much worse than it is. Do you think he's apologizing for nipping me?
I think he's saying, give me my beard back.
Can't do that, man. I've never seen him without facial hair.
He looks so much younger.
He looks so little. Look at his little face. Oh, goodness me. Should we do the update? The Discord update? Oh, I know. He's so cute. Look at his little face. Lily, do you want me to give the dog a treat? Look how he's holding onto my arm.
Mom, don't let me go. Conspiracy theory, Danae's paid my Twix because every time I see that dog or hear his name, I suddenly want a Twix. Who wouldn't want a Twix after seeing that Twix?
Okay, let's have
the Discord update. What? So for those of you that weren't in the Discord,
this is for Lily. This is a carrot.
Just go. What's it?
Come on, ASMR him.
He's suddenly so shy.
Why is he so shy?
And Reese's is like, why am I not getting one?
Oh my god.
Amazing.
You should not be given a high power microphone. Anyway.
Right, my this is amazing. My headset's about to run out. Do the Discord update and I'll change my batteries.
Yes, I'll give him one too. Here you go. That's a good boy right there. I didn't neuter him. Well, I did have him neutered, but it's fine. You had to go check your GPS collar on your pup because it said he wasn't here anymore, but it's not accurate. Well, that's good news and also bad news that you're like, what good is your collar? Oh, see, okay, so these are schnoodles, so they have like a very poodly face that we didn't know about until shaving them off. They definitely look like little miniature poodly face. Hi, Link. Okay, well, I did post a picture, Slab, you saw it, of a puppy that I was considering rescuing, and there were some questions about an update on that, and so yes, I really was considering rescuing this dog. And no, it's not a possibility because its owners found it again. Yay!
Good news for everyone involved, especially Danae, who does not need another dog.
It was so cute. I can spot a cute pup. All pups are cute in their own ways, but some of them just
this one was extra cute.
Yeah. They found it again. Yeah, they found it again at the animal control. Apparently they got free and they were picked up by animal control, and the owners, I called to see if they were going to be taken to the no-kill shelter to make sure that they had a chance to get back into the population of loving families out there waiting for an adorable dog. Maybe me. Perhaps I could have done it. I don't know. I was strongly considering it while in a tornado messy house with a 6-year-old that demands my time and 2 tiny dogs that demand more of me. And the neighbor cat that comes over and looks at me and goes, because I have started feeding it special, delicious treats that it sticks his head into the bag entirely and just begins. Yeah, I thought about it. But then you know what? This is the best case scenario. Because by the time that I got a hold of the people, the original owners had already found it.
Yep. Amazing.
Yeah.
No. JC, I will not let Danae have a dog, even if she wants to. No.
I think you went into the Discord and you were like, stop it.
Stop it in me. Because you were like, Ian, did you see what I posted in the Discord? I was like, what? What have you done?
Yeah.
No more puppies for you.
I didn't even put it in the pet Discord channel because the Captain's Pod people really know the fullness of the story. And one of my favorite parts about the Discord chat at that time was we were, I think, like talking about the different animals that I have, the animal count, and somebody said that that the goldfish just basically had a cameo. That just really cracked me up.
Doesn't get like special guest star featured from one episode.
It was a cute puppy, Polly.
Speaking of cute puppies, do you remember a few weeks back when you advised David on, was it an Australian Shepherd or something, and told him not to get that dog?
Yeah.
Well, David did not get that dog.
Not because of my advice, though.
Not because of your advice. David's a very experienced dog owner, but David did give us permission to share the dog that he did end up getting.
Oh, look at that puppy.
Look at the puppy.
Okay, fine. They can look at you too. Come on, they can look at you too.
Oh, you just want to grab that snoot.
Look at me, guys. Look at me. I'm not a picture. I'm a real dog.
I think he wants here because it's technically closer to where the treat came from.
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't know there aren't any more.
Yeah. Kind of grabbing for one, you can see. He's just going to eat your arm. That puppy needs to be memed. Look at... eh? Eh?
That puppy can sell things.
Yes. That puppy
look at that face.
Just
a little cha-da-cha. And he just did the little thumbs up in the corner.
He's just delivered an epic punchline. Eh?
What dog is the mascot for the Center Prize?
All of them. It's all the dogs. It's all of the dogs blended into one dog.
What's the most sinful dog breed?
Labradors or golden retrievers.
Why?
Because they're basically kids. Labradors are just a mess.
I don't know. I'm thinking like a Chihuahua.
Could be. That's a pretty sinful dog, but also that's got like the stereotype of being a little shitty dog, and they're not all shitty. Like, I don't want to propel a stereotype.
Okay. That's what I said, Phil. That is exactly what I said.
Exactly the stereotype. Like, don't
look at that. Look,
everyone. You guys are doggist.
Come on, that's not doggist. It's experience.
Chihuahuist.
If we had a Chihuahua as our official Center Prize mascot, it would give a clear indication that when you board the ship, you never know what's gonna. It could be a good day. It could be a shit day. As a reminder, this is an R-rated show.
I just want to keep this dog on screen the entire episode.
You should. It will confuse
with the show.
On the 0.0005% chance that anyone just happens across this show and they're like, "Oh, this is the kind of show I want to watch." That dog is going to be the main reason they click.
This is going to be it.
Yeah. Yes. Who said just a moment ago that the fish spent more time in the freezer than it did in the tank?
I think it was Sci-Fi Brony that mentioned that at some point.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I don't think. I just definitely
taking shots at both members of the podcast.
That's right. I'm the official dog of the show. Fuck you, Chihuahuas.
We already have one. That's amazing.
Odo? You mean Odie?
Odie? Odo?
Oh, no, maybe it is Odo. Because it could.
Odo could turn into a dog. Yeah, exactly.
And a very good one. A German Shepherd at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Ian, your cardigan is so nice. I want it. Well, you can't have it. But yes, it is. I love it. It's so comfy. And it's got like this nice little like interior as well. It's really soft.
Are you going to make one of those like link trees where you have your Amazon shopping and people like they can buy that cardigan?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, because people
they can buy the same clothes that I wear,
and then you get paid for it too as like a affiliate link.
Get the heck out!
That's how.
That's a thing.
Yes, I am absolutely inundated with these kinds of ads. When I open up Instagram, it's crazy. There's an entire account, and it's this woman. Now the account is like, "Do you want to know how to dress well in your 60s? because I like to fuck up my algorithm by like watching stuff that's really not anything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
And so I got into like the skincare thing for a while, and it was how to reduce wrinkles using castor oil and tape. And then I like went into this whole thing where it showed like the people that are in their 60s that are like super high fashion. So I started watching them. Anyway, it's trickled down, and now I have them all the time. And it's an entire account of a woman saying, shop my Amazon account. And they'll stand in front of you and they do this like little thing where they like wiggle back and forth and they like move their little feet. They're like ta 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 ta, and then they snap their fingers and then their outfit changes ta 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 pop, and they're just like all this cuteness is going on, and then it's like comment me in the and then you comment me, and because you're following it, it automatically sends you a link to those information. And if you go buy it, then they get to make some money off of what you bought on Amazon.
I need to do that. Gee, I need to do this.
Oh my God, are you going to start wearing women's clothes on it? That's great. You should do that.
For men's clothes as well, but I would wear, if I'm getting paid, I'll wear some women's t-shirts. They're basically the same. They just have like a higher cut, right? Yeah. I could make a killing on old man cardigans.
You just going like ta 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 ta. No one will have to know why you started saying ta ta ta. We could have Moopsie as a mascot. I feel like that's a terrible idea, but also perfect.
Who wants to troll Josh? No, it's not working.
What a butt.
Pretending to be invisible.
We are going to be reviewing a TOS episode today, as you saw from our introduction. And we are going to be simulcasting.
Thank you so much for joining us live. We appreciate
I'm
you
gonna
being
fucking
here, but we're not going to talk to you anymore. Not because we don't like you, but because we have to do our show. This is the official recording of the podcast, Captain's Pod. For those of you who are joining us live, thank
fuck you.
You're going to break StreamYard. Stop it.
You know I can't not be happy listening to this.
Knight Rider, a shadowy flank to the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. Michael Knight, a young lone.
And then you stop it?
Just works every
God,
time.
do you hate me?
Oh.
Oh.
It won't work every week if I keep doing it.
Oh, that's true.
That's amazing. Damn it. Yes, dear. Ship
Anyway.
arriving, dear.
Ian, take over since you like to take over on that part.
Me? No, we do the thing where we're not gonna like talk about your comments in the moment, but we might talk about them in the moment depending on how.
So you can repeat that, but I can't repeat that.
No, you can.
Mm.
I never said you can't.
But you're just gonna interrupt it every week?
Not every week.
Yeah, every week.
You'll never know when it's coming.
I'm gonna go in the back end and delete it right now.
No one suspects the sudden interruption. Yeah, so we probably won't talk about you in the show, but if we have any, please let them know that that we're doing a live show and that's for the podcast and stuff. And then we'll come back after the show and do some of your sins. And if you can mark your sins as
Champion the
sins,
cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate.
I think that's the summary. That's what we do. We'll eventually come back to you guys.
When is he gonna do that? Oh man, it's probably like a quick conversation because he'll just say but he actually listen. I'll let him tell the story someday. Is he gonna do an audio on it?
I don't think so. He hasn't got any plans.
Like I want to talk all about it because I love that audio clip so much.
I mean, we'll bring him on for the outtakes. Just literally, we'll bring him on for like 10 minutes of the outtakes of this show. I'm sure he would do that. I wonder if he would come in right now.
Okay, we're getting a static electricity on your mic from two
My
separate people.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And last week it did sound like a little cookie a couple times, but I thought maybe it cleared up. So let's try to
Okay.
see if that
I'll
gets...
try and fix that.
Okay. That means I have to be quiet so you guys can hear him. It also means he has to choose to talk. It's not constant, but it is persistent. I actually saw you guys post about this last week too. Take out the cartridge and blow in it. Don't forget that part. That's important. Pom pom. Did anybody get it? Because if it is, that means it's going to be our system since we're on two separate kind of channels. Okay, you're back.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Not getting it from me.
Try smacking what? Wait, why can't I hear? I can't hear Danae. That's annoying. Oh, that's why.
Some people would find that a blessing, Ian.
Oh.
Read us the Federation Charter to test.
Oh, done.
What does that mean? What have you asked him to do?
I don't think the chart. I think the first time the charter was actually on screen was in Strange New Worlds, or was it Picard? Oh wait, no, Janeway's got some of it. Oh, it's actually on. It's on Voyager. Oh, I can't read that. Charter of the United Federation of Planets.
What have you done, Slab?
I would love to read that. Have we got it? Oh, here we go. We, the life forms of the United Federation of Planets, determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war and to reaffirm faith in the fundamental rights of sentient beings, in the dignity and worth. There are so many commas in this first sentence. Of all life forms, in the equal rights of members of planetary systems, large and small, and to establish conditions under which justice and respect for the obligations arising from treaties and other sources of interstellar law can be maintained, and to promote social progress and better standards of living on all worlds, and for these ends to practice toleration and live together in peace with one another, and to unite our strength to maintain interstellar peace, security, and to ensure by the acceptance of principles and the institutions of methods that weapons of destruction shall not be used, save in the common interest, and to employ interstellar resources for the promotion. That's one long sentence. And it keeps going. There's an ellipses, there's a ... It just keeps going.
Did you see that Slab made that up and didn't know it was a real thing?
Oh, you're kidding. For real?
For real.
Yeah, no, it literally says Charter of the United Federation of Planets.
He literally just said something to be silly and then was completely shocked that it was real.
No, it's real. Yeah, at least the first paragraph, which is 100 words in one sentence. It's so bad.
Wow. There was static when he ended that. Okay.
Really? Okay. Well, I can't do much about it. I'm afraid. I don't have another mic to use. I may have to get that fixed for next week.
It might be the cable. Did you check all the cable connections to your computer and everything?
What's weird is that I don't hear it in the edit
edits?
when I'm editing at all. So
Well,
that
that's
makes
good.
me think I don't know.
So the shit audio is for our live show and the primo audio is for those who listen on the podcast.
Basically, yep. I wonder if anybody on YouTube is hearing an issue. That might just be a Twitch thing.
Little know. I don't know. So you're saying that the charter just keeps going on in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt?
It was really quite hypnotic. That's a reference from Timescape today.
David Ellis also heard it.
Well, screw you guys.
Okay, now read it in Klingon.
I actually just said beam me up.
But with a British accent, which is great.
Was it? Well, no way. I guess it was by default. Yeah. I wasn't trying to do a different accent.
Like, it's like water.
Water. I'll have what they're having.
Oh, no.
Water. Can I get a water? But I'd like it to be wetter.
that you're getting better at doing that. I remember when you first started trying to like practice saying water and you would really overemphasize. You'd be like, water.
Water.
Make it as long as possible. And
Can I get a
then
water?
you actually did it at a restaurant and it worked perfectly. And we're like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I didn't say any other words. I was like, water.
But you have to like unhinge your jaw when you do it every time. Do you know that you do that?
Oh yeah, no, this is
It's
a
like-
genuine thing.
It hurts you.
American accents are all in the mouth region. Water.
Can you help me understand how an accent wouldn't be in the mouth region for any other?
So, Millie Bobby Brown, who's really, really good at accents, says that when she's doing like really posh English, it's in the bottom of her throat. When she's doing Australian, it's in the top of her neck. And then when she's doing American and asking for a water, it's all in the front of the mouth.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You gotta
Okay.
get a new sweater with a glass of water.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think either of us can do Irish or Scottish accents.
Right now, it'd be quite tricky.
What was that?
It's my Northern Irish.
sounded like
really thick.
That sounded like one of the
Irish.
Beatles.
No, that's Ringo. As if Ringo Starr was going to ask for a glass of water at a restaurant. The problem is none of my friends will pay for me.
Wow.
I've been stealing a living from them for far too long.
No, I
Starfish.
understand. I understand like where, like, I guess like the parts, but it is all technically in the mouth.
Well, yeah, because it leaves that way, but where you're like drawing the sound from, it's like when you sing from your diaphragm. It's that kind of feeling.
Okay. I mean, I would not want to sit and argue with Millie Bobby Brown about her particular ways of acting. That's not something that I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, whenever I flip an accent in my brain, it's usually like how my tongue does stuff in my mouth.
Yeah. You're mainly doing different regions of America, though, aren't you? You do an English one, but that's...
Yeah, I'm very limited. Wait,
what I meant.
here's the north side of Springfield. Here's the
Yes.
south side of Springfield. Here's the
It's
west.
amazing.
Here's the east side of Springfield.
Yeah.
It's very,
Mhm,
very
mhm.
nuanced. Actually, I don't sound like I'm from Springfield. That's one of the reasons I've done really well in radio and other kinds of shows, is because I, by all accounts of people who evaluate voice work and stuff, there's sort of like a neutral accent, and that is sort of where I've always
Yeah.
been, is in that neutral place. I didn't really pick one up from like a southern drawl or a hillbilly drawl, which are very
Mhm.
around this area. So it was really
Mhm.
alarming when Iris started talking in a hillbilly accent. So, because I thought, where is this coming from? Not from me. Now we play into
School.
it.
I imagine it's from school.
She's really good at mimicking accents.
Yeah. Well, she has an unfair advantage. Her like vocal cords and stuff aren't welded and damaged after years of shouting and talking. They're all malleable and stuff.
What is Babs's accent from? Chaos.
Isn't she from Boston?
Originally, I wanted it to sound like a Boston accent, something that was like very Boston-y. But so I watched some videos and I tried to pick up on some of like the nuances of picking up a different accent. But I also, my intention was that she's been smoking since she was 8 years old. So I wanted to give her a raspy voice, like, something like that. But that was really hard to continue to do
I bet.
and keep up with. So I was talking like this, get out of here. And then it was too old. It sounded too old. But then, of course, if
Mhm.
she's been smoking, it made sense in my brain. And I also just couldn't have as much fun. So I started to move her up a little bit until all of a sudden she was in the highest part of the back of my throat. And then she came up here. And that's how
That's where she lives.
that's where she
where she
lives.
lives
Now
now.
she went from down here.
It's amazing.
Oh,
I think you're baiting me, Sarah. And it's so the girls' twirls, it would be like the girls' twirls. Girls. They put like 3 syllables into earls. Girls' twirls. Girls 12s.
I don't know what you're doing.
They
I
are
don't
not far from me, and it's so hard to do them.
I can't. Yeah, that's something that I'm definitely not used to. Is like you come from such a small like little area, but then there's just so many different accents. Like you just go to the adjacent street, and all of a sudden you in a totally different accent. Like
it's basically to do with the age of the country. So we've all been on this island for like 1,000 years, 2,000 years, something like that. Whenever, it might be like 1066 was the last big invasion, but we've all been here basically since then, evolving dialects. Whereas America, you've only been there for like 250 years, so you haven't had time to get that level of regionality. But in 1,000 years, you'll have some crazy accents going down.
Babs' accent is best described as from somewhere no one has visited yet, and science cannot explain it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Totally fair.
Babs' OG accent reminds me of Tallulah from Daleks in Manhattan, Evolution of the Daleks.
Daleks in Manhattan.
I don't know what that reference is.
It's a long time since I've seen that. It's Doctor Who reference. A long time since I've seen that. Daleks in Manhattan.
Pack the car and have it, yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I know. That's the one with Scavros. Not Scavros. What's his name? He's
Scooty Boots.
He's an evil guy, and he has tentacles under his
thing. Oh, yeah. That's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, that's Davy Jones. Davy Jones. No, not Davros. Davros is the head of the Daleks.
Everyone is saying Davros.
This is a human Dalek hybrid. Wasn't Davros? He had another name.
I can't wait for it to actually be Davros, and you to be
wrong.
It's
not Davros, because Davros
is so excited for it.
Davros is actually a car led.
Ian, what you described as a mind flayer.
Yes. No. Mind flayers are like here. Davy Jones is down here.
Oh, remember when we were playing Baldur's Gate?
Baldur's Gate was amazing.
Oh, we need to go back and do that. We haven't played that in so long.
Dalek that's his name. Sorry.
Phil wins. Phil wins. Nice.
Dalek.
You ready to start the show?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just making sure I haven't got a ping at work that was important. Sorry.
Yeah, we do have, work stuff going on.
Yeah. No, more good. Let's do it. Let's do the show. Wait, hang on a minute. Oh. I didn't charge my other battery.
Are you already losing the battery on that one?
This one's dead, but that one might have charged enough. Okay, I'll be right back.
You just changed it. He just changed it. Didn't he just change it? All right. I've been getting deep into my current run of BG3 Dark Urge run per usual. So Ian and I started playing this because we were obviously told that it was awesome. So we both got it. We started playing it together and then we stopped. I think it's been almost a year since we've played. So it would definitely be something where we started back up again and totally forget whatever we were doing. But it was really, really cool. Hello? I really want to play it again.
Hello.
Hello.
You hear me? Hello. Yeah, technically, as long as this one lasts longer than... Wait, as long as the charge in the battery is longer than it takes for this to run out, I can keep switching and it'll work.
When are we going to play Klingon? Has that arrived?
I was going to ask you, Danae, because it's quite difficult for me to check the PO box from England.
I need to go check the PO box. I didn't get a notification that we had anything, but there was also an error that they told me might happen. So I'll go check. Not now, but later.
Stop the show right now. Give my batteries time to thing it, and then I'll get a new microphone at the same time.
Okay, I'm
Dog
back.
is so adorable. I love it. Okay, but we are going to do this. Okay, should we get into the show? Should we do it?
There's a dozen New England accents. Danae's Boston is a Brahmin Kennedy accent. Southie working class is different. South Mass is different. Rhode Island has 2+.
We choose to go to the moon and do the other impossible things.
I love it.
That's a pretty
just take you with us. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Okay, let's do the show.
Okay, let's do the show. We have things to do.
I'm gonna have to pee. I'm gonna have to pee break right in the middle of the show.
Do you want to go pee right now?
I'm just in the middle of the show.
Instead of in the middle of the show, do you want to go now?
Or towards the end of the show, maybe.
Cool. Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab something from the not the replication, what is it? The food synthesizer, and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode we just watched together. Most important question first: what would you like the transporter chief to get you from the food terminal?
I've got so many questions about how this works, but definitely some chicken soup. I mean, let's just try it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one of the mystery cards.
Finger flavored chicken soup.
Finger flavored chicken soup.
He just dipped his finger right on in there.
No, he's been touching all kinds of things. I would like one of the other mystery cards one of them happened to be chicken soup, apparently. So I'll take one of the other foods he was already prepared to hand out.
Is that how that works? Can we start there? Okay. Oh, the synopsis. Yeah. Okay. In today's episode, we get to see the OG sling around the sun.
First time inventing time travel.
I did feel a bit like I was watching a celebrity moment happen because I've heard about this sling around the sun. I think I saw it happen, but I can't remember which series did it. Was it Picard? I can't remember. Somebody did it. Was it the Borg? There was conversation about it somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the Voyage Home, which is the one with the whales, and you may have seen a clip of the time warp in that one.
Maybe it was mentioned something.
No, yeah, they mention it in I think it's in Picard.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was really early on in the show because there was some stuff going on and there was definitely some slinger on the sun, and I was very confused about that. And you said, "Oh, that's from TOS," and now here we are watching it.
Yeah, this is the one.
We're coming around full circle. We got to see some timey-wimey shenanigans. In today's episode, the Enterprise kidnaps people from Earth and beams them back into themselves, and everything turns out okay.
That's it. It was a great synopsis.
Thank you.
Poor man is so traumatized. The security guard.
Yeah, this episode had some pretty interesting humor beats.
Yeah, so that's probably the thing that I'm going to remember most from this episode. It's a long time since I've seen it, but it's the first time travel episode that Star Trek does, and it's kind of goofy. Like, it's really funny. There are tons of humor beats in this, and I wonder if it was because Gene was so reluctant to do time travel that if he did it really seriously, it was going to be too much. Or maybe at this point, he knew City on the Edge of Forever was coming, so they knew that was going to be super serious, so they deliberately made this a bit more lighthearted.
I don't know. But we have multiple episodes of them coming back to this time, and I think that must have been a fun connection point for the audience to just fall in love with Star Trek when this was originally on the TV, because it's a very clever thing to do, to take your sci-fi show and then solidify it in the life of the people who are watching it. So I don't think I mind that we're going back to the 20th century, but I wasn't exactly super excited about it. I thought, oh, can we do something different besides go to a base? Because we just did that. We just did that. There was this.
It's kind of a.
But that was Discovery. No, that was Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine. Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, maybe that's why it's feeling like a little bit like ugh to me, because we're going back to basically the same time where the weather balloons. So Deep Space Nine was riffing on this one. Absolutely. They even said, this is the time of weather balloons. And that was the whole thing for the Deep Space Nine episode.
Yeah, that's true. But that's like a stereotype in general. Like the X-Files would do the weather balloons. Like the whole story from the 60s onwards has been weather balloons did it, and that's what it is. But I completely agree with you. Like, it feels like a bit of a cop-out to do time travel and then be stuck in a military base, because then you don't actually have to explore anything. You don't have to go onto the streets of the 60s. And it's definitely a budget thing, because it's much easier to just set it on a military base. So this doesn't feel super time travel-y, because we're not seeing a lot. They're dealing with a dilemma, which is fun, but we're not seeing a lot of the actual crew in the 60s.
No. All 430 of them.
I know. We got some
interesting facts on this one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about my predictions.
Yeah, so you predicted that, first and foremost, they will go into the future and it will impact the past. That's not right. How time travel works.
Tomorrow is yesterday.
Did that happen, Danae?
Yeah, they definitely went into the future. And it impacted. No, but then they also went into the future.
Nope.
Yes, they did. They had to go
They went
back
to the
to their
present.
time.
They went to the present. You got to go back to the present.
No, I can see what you're saying now.
Kirk will be holding a gun with a dish.
That happened.
It doesn't technically have a dish on it. It has a spike. It's like a little point.
It's like it has like a little like half cylinder thingy that looks very dish-like with a point on it.
Very cylindrical. Okay, we'll give you that. We'll give you half a point for that.
There was a lot of guns in this episode.
Oh, lots of guns being pointed at everybody.
Yeah.
Someone falls over.
That's definitely happened a lot.
Everybody fell over during the time warp.
There
Lots
was-
of people falling down.
There were people falling over on the bridge. There were people falling over in the engine room, and there were people falling over in the archives.
Everywhere.
In one of the most epic battles we've ever
I
seen.
mean, let's just go straight to that because the more we watch the original series, the more I'm getting that you love the fighting. And this has got an incredible fight scene in the archive room where Kirk gives everything to that fight. He sacrifices his entire body.
Oh my God.
He goes full horizontal. At
I
those
died.
people.
I laughed so hard at that part. I really enjoy it because this is a way to amp up an episode and have some action. And it's wild to see how much physical engagement these actors are getting into because that's actually Shatner, right? There was a
It's
stunt
all
double.
Shatner. Nope.
That is fucking crazy. And I loved it. He just throws himself around and
Yep.
and then he goes and does a pull up in the doorway and then frog leaps over the next guy playing leapfrog. And I was here for all of it. Why? I never ever see this stuff in any other media I consume.
No.
In no point in my life have I ever seen this kind of fight acting, except for right here. And maybe it exists in a bunch of other areas I just haven't watched or will never watch. But
Man, I don't know.
this is mind-boggling that the highest level military that we have, this is their fighting style. And the future, their combat training is essentially just like extreme aerobics. It's fantastic.
It's incredible. It's so fun. He just, like I said, he gives everything. And it's not like everyone in the cast does this. It really is Shatner. Like, he just commits his entire body to everything. And I love how this is choreographed because it starts off with all three of them coming at him and he just ducks under, goes through their legs, throws some double fist punches, and out of nowhere he's just horizontal. He's just like sideways at three people. It's so much fun. I love it.
It was amazing. I loved that
So
part.
great.
It might be my favorite part.
That. This episode needed that. There is some. I felt the pacing on this one. I felt it drag a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely. This is the only real action we have in a way. Oh, I mean, well, hold on a second. We've got jet planes at the beginning. We've got fighter jets, and we've got the Enterprise entering the Earth's atmosphere, and that is an action sequence, absolutely. But that was amazing. I want to just watch that scene again because I just remember thinking multiple times through it that whoever is doing this is giving all they have, and it doesn't matter that it doesn't make any sense. Like, to get hit by a forearm on the back of your back and then that makes you pass out makes no sense.
Just a couple of bruisings. No, but it's the technique, Danae. It's all with. I remember a few months back or so, I was saying something about like a chop to the neck,
brachial plexus.
The brachial plexus. Right?
Mhm.
Isn't there one on the back as well?
No. They're just like strategically placed around our body.
All over the body. Yep. God designed us with like off switches everywhere.
I believed that like maybe Sulu and Spock were able to do some really interesting kind of like combat techniques, especially Spock. But this whole like hold one fist with your other fist and use it to whack at your.
You know what's great about it is that you're already ready to celebrate as soon as you've done it.
It was amazing.
That's incredible.
I really, really enjoyed that part. And I don't think that it was intended to be hilarious when it was released. I think it was intended to be like a really serious moment. And this is how we're choosing to depict what a brawl would look like. But this is, to me, very clearly a Star Trek TOS brawl. And it's like its own category of overacting and, like I said, acrobatics, just like these rolls. Like you can kind of see him just like gearing up and being like boing, and then just tucking and rolling, and then he pops up, and that in and of itself stunned everyone. They can't believe that he did it, and that gives him the edge just for a split second. He holds his own hand, he whacks them once or twice. They just go whoa, 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 and then they hit a wall, and then they're kind of conscious just enough to recognize the danger of Kirk, and then they pass out. Like, how fucking awesome is that? That is not how actual brawls go at all.
No. Although if somebody throws their full body at me, I'm going to be caught off guard. I'm going to be really, really surprised that they're not using arms or legs. They're using their torso to fight me. It's amazing.
Yeah, when he threw his entire body into the waiting arms of his enemy, there is nothing.
Look at you, Eagle!
I hope that I can access the joy of that moment and the Trouble with Tribbles fight for the rest of my life. I hope that if I'm having a bad day and I just need to think of something that just gives me the giggles, that I can remember, just think about TOS fights.
I'm going to get our editors to edit together every TOS fight into just one, because there's one I'm thinking of that I might be in an episode that we do at some point where Kirk pulls off some like amazing like double midair kicking. That you're
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
We need to prioritize that.
One of the first episodes we watched, I don't remember. I think it was one of the monster episodes. It could have been the salt monster episode. They arrive and then they kind of go out onto the ground, sort of in this area that had been under fire. So maybe it wasn't the salt monster one. But
anyways, no, this is the Gorn.
The Gorn one, maybe that was it. And so it's Spock and him and
Kirk's just diving everywhere.
Yeah, they're crawling around, and then they have to kind of like launch something in the distance and such. And I just remember like thinking, this is physical comedy in a sci-fi, a serious sci-fi environment.
It's not meant to be.
And how they take it so seriously is what makes it great.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Who would make this? Because when we see fights nowadays, they're like
smash cuts,
Jason Bourne situations, and they make it more like realistic. You know.
Well, and sometimes they want to hide a lack of actual like combat training as well, or they want to hide stunt doubles as well.
Whereas in this one, we're not hiding that it's bad. We're fully going in.
Shatner, throw yourself at those people.
I don't even think that. I think Shatner probably in that moment was like, I've got a plan. This is what I want to do. I'm going to throw myself at you. You guys catch me. Ready? Go. And he does it. Okay, now I'm going to go over there. And I'm going to jump up here. It just has this franticness to it.
The guards are all surprised. It's not choreographed at all. It's like, just catch him when he flies.
And there's these big hay swings and stuff. I mean, they had to do a little bit of like conversation, but it seemed like in the moment, there's this frantic energy to it. Like, this is so much fun. And then it just keeps going and it doesn't stop. Kind of like how I keep talking about this fighting.
It's beautiful. It's amazing. I do want to move on to... I really like the cold open for this. It must have been so fun back in the 60s as well. So
yeah.
We were watching this is the updated version that was like remastered in the 90s or something. But the shots are still the same. They've just been updated. So it still opens on the military base. And then just with the Enterprise in a blue sky. Like, you always see the Enterprise in space. This would, I think, have been probably one of the first times you'd actually see it in the sky with clouds around it as a UFO. Like, what a fun cold open.
It felt a bit to me like Cause and Effect. Isn't that the one that was your favorite?
Yes,
where it's like
really
something
shocking.
happens that's just completely unexpected.
Yeah.
So if you were watching this, you would check your TV guide, which I think was what they had at the time, like a printed document that told you what was coming out. You had to go pick up from the store.
What am I watching? A military drama?
It says this is supposed to be Star Trek, but this is obviously the military drama. And then all of a sudden, yeah, there it is in the sky. I think that would have been epic. I really enjoyed it because I've never seen it in the sky before.
Exactly. No, I love that. And I love that they do like this little mini pursuit with the fighter jet chasing the Enterprise, the threat of firing nukes at the Enterprise. Like, it's kind of terrifying that there's something in the 60s that would do potential damage to something in the 2300s, 2200s. It's kind of like, we should stop messing with nukes and stuff. We should just like not.
Yeah. Yeah, the opening sequence was really, really fun. Yeah. And then we kind of find out through just exposition that they got sucked into like a dark star and it flung them out into the past. Here they are. I imagine
you just like your ears glazed over when they started to, when Spock explains like the dark star and they're suddenly in the past. Like, it's such an abrupt arrival. Like, there's no Captain's log, we're doing this thing, and then the drama happens. We're joining in after the fact, and then we're getting like an exposition dump of, oh yeah, by the way, we're in, some shit happened, and we're in the past.
Can I tell you though, I think I, in a way, prefer the TOS exposition to some of the Voyager exposition that I just recently experienced, where they're really leaning heavily into explaining what's going on through the lens of time travel with all of the paradoxes and the Star Trek terminology. Like, they really are like, okay, well, we want to talk about this, so we've got to think about it at this point in time. Whereas TOS is just like, we got sucked into a star and now we don't know where we are. It's so much more simplified.
The point of this episode is to be in the past and explore some past things. You don't need to worry about how we got here or how we're going to get back.
Yeah, this episode, I think, was leaning on the idea that in order to... It almost seemed like the first time they had this idea, by the way, that kidnapping is not a good idea, number one.
Yeah.
They should have just let the guy die, I guess. I don't know. There's so many things. I'm not going to ask a lot of questions about how this stuff works, but I think it was the idea that Kirk made a call to like invite this person on aboard and have a moment, and Spock says this is a bad idea because it could impact the timeline, and it seemed like that's the first time Kirk's ever thought about that before.
It's kind of crazy. Like, everyone in this episode is pretty stupid. Like, Spock gives the update that, oh, by the way, Captain, the tractor beam will likely destroy this poor person's ship. Scotty immediately comes on and says, tractor beam activated, ship is breaking up. Like, give that update a little bit sooner. And then when they're forced to bring the guy on board, Kirk's just like, welcome aboard, friend. Like, here's the transporters, here's my phaser, welcome to the bridge, the nerve center of the most advanced ship in the fleet. And then Spock is like, can I have a word? This might not be a good idea. Like, I'm not saying this guy is going to do anything shady, but what if an unscrupulous man? And I love that description that Spock gives of like the logic of what could possibly happen. But it is at the expense of Kirk's intelligence, because Kirk is like, oh, your logic is annoying as usual.
Not only at Kirk's intelligence, maybe he purposefully avoided listening that day at Starfleet, although I don't think we're calling it Starfleet or I don't.
No, it is Starfleet. It is Starfleet.
There's like different words at this point, like Federation of Planets or something. Maybe that's how it is always, but it seems like there's different words to describe Starfleet in my brain. But I don't know if it's that Kirk doesn't know or he's choosing to be obtuse about it. Either way,
it was weird, doesn't it?
This is the writers introducing the sci-fi audience to the concept of time travel through this lens. And so Kirk is taking the role as I hadn't thought about that, even though they absolutely should have been thinking about this. But at that point, it was a really interesting thing where the episode seems to be struggling with, okay, we've done this thing. We've taken this person who is a nobody and we're going to kidnap him. And that's what we're going to do. Sorry, dude. Sorry about your family. Sorry about your kids. Well, we have greater things to worry about. And then it writes itself, like I'm noticing that most TOS episodes do, by then introducing, oh, sorry, just didn't check the annexes about your children. Turns out you are important, but not really you. Your kids are more important. So we need you to go back And to me, one of the most interesting people of this episode is this Captain Christopher character who has been beamed out of his, fighter jet because he's taking matters into his own hands and trying to cleverly get off of this terrifying prison that the show is maybe wanting us to be like, ooh, this is fun for our Star Trek characters, but I'm really relating to the Captain Christopher. I'm like, dude, you're fucked. Like, how are you going to get out of this?
With me.
Mm-hmm.
What, you kidnapped me, you assholes. Like, you've ruined my life. What are you doing? And you're right. The crux of all of that nonsense is to tell the audience this is what we're exploring this week. The dilemma of the week this week is that what do you do if you have a man out of time? You have to return them, but there's a risk of them corrupting the timeline, but you can't not return them because that too is going to corrupt the timeline as well. But the way that like TNG and like the later shows do it better is that not everybody is made to look stupid when they do it. Because even Spock doesn't come off very well because he's saying that Captain Christopher is no impact on the rest of humanity.
Yeah.
How did he not think about his kids? Like, Spock is a genius. How could he not go one step further to think it's not just the man, but it's the humans that he creates as well, and this butterfly effect that carries on? And yeah, the point is to get to this dilemma where we did have an easy option. Well, we just take him back to the future with us, and now there's a dilemma that the show has to deal with.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that the show is probably suffering from first season, first time doing anything like this, big picture stuff where they're going to give that role of confused individual to anybody. And it doesn't necessarily have to make sense to the character in its entirety because maybe they're not really thinking about the character in its entirety.
Yeah.
Like, the role of the person making the mistakes in today's writer's room would be given to a character that's either a throwaway character that they can pitch at the end or a character that exists to regularly make stupid mistakes, like choosing to beam somebody aboard.
Or in TNG's case, it was Worf. He was always given the dumb suggestions or just ignored.
Worf. Yeah, it would have been... Anyway... But to your point, you're right. It doesn't make sense to the characters now that we're in the future and we know all of the nuances of these characters. But in this episode, as a singular piece, if we're just kind of looking at it alone, it's introducing some really interesting concepts to the sci-fi world.
Yeah. No, and
which aren't unexplored in other mediums, but we're seeing it here in this particular one.
Yeah. At some point, I don't know how you do sci-fi and not dip your toe into time travel at some point. What I think blows my mind the most, though, is how they get back to the future. And it's not exactly like yada yada, because they spend like a good 10 minutes on like the calculations and the time warp and getting back. But it is some incredible nonsense that they are inventing time travel so easily. And how conveniently it works. Like the beaming Christopher and the other guard back into their bodies? Like, what?
I have questions about that.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand how that worked. Like, are they saying that they killed that Christopher? They didn't kill... Because they said that Christopher wasn't going to remember anything because it hadn't happened yet.
Which, again, doesn't make
any sense.
Because they haven't prevented themselves from going back in time. They're just... The Enterprise is still in orbit.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet.
But then we also see that the Enterprise disappears as well. Like, it's there, but then it's not there. Because it was never there.
I think the idea is that they're going back to the future to a point in time before they were sent to the past. And somehow avoiding the Dark Star from taking them to the past. They don't explicitly say that, though. Even with that put to one side, I don't know. They are asking the transporters to do something we did not realize transporters can do. Like, you're talking, like, the microsecond, like, but the exact microsecond that all of this started, like, why would that work? You're just beaming this duplicate on top of another version of himself. Like it's so much bonkers. It almost makes me wonder like why they went this direction, because there's an easy way where you just gloss over it and just say, yeah, we dumped him in the desert, that's fine. Like, go back to the crash and leave him at the crash with a parachute. This is so bizarre. And then beaming the guard into his own body at that time as well. Like, I don't think whoever invented the transporters designed them to do this. And if they did, I'm wondering why.
My theory is that somehow them coming back to that point in time eliminated the Enterprise from being in orbit, and then they killed their version of Chris by beaming him into himself, and the original version is what continues on. That's my theory, because there's no other way for them. Like, I think they intentionally murdered the future military guys that they kidnapped.
Well, they're definitely saying that he won't remember anything. So I think by definition, if you are the sum of your memories, that version of him is dead. Or you could argue he never existed. You can't kill something that never existed.
And to a point of the person in chat, and if that's how it works and it doesn't work that way, then what's the point of retrieving the record tapes and the photos?
Oh no, they didn't even need to get the tapes.
Not if it never happened.
They didn't need to do the entire away mission because the tapes were never made.
It really does feel like we got to figure out how to just make this make sense, and the audience probably isn't going to care too much, so let's just make a solution and move on.
This in 60 years.
So
and pulling it apart. Yeah, it's really bonkers. It's kind of crazy. But they compound it by reusing this time travel in the future in another episode. I mean, I'm amazed in a movie. I'm amazed this didn't spawn off another series that was, oh, hey, we know how to do time travel. We should go and do time travel now. And there's a Starfleet Time Bureau or something.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's really, really,
I thought what was going to happen was that the second guy that beamed aboard, the frozen man, the guy that's frozen in place.
Yeah.
I thought that he was going to choose to go with them because he loved soup.
This is the best soup I've ever had.
This is the future I want to be at. I'm going to go with you guys. And then Christopher was going to go back and just be the loony cuckoo guy that talked about his trips to his children, and that's what helped to influence his son to eventually do what his son did. That's kind of what where I thought that it was going to go.
I want to see like his son be really motivated to do space travel because he wants a chance of visiting the people that came from the future and abducted his dad. But no, his dad doesn't remember anything.
That was when they said you're not going to remember anything, I thought, all right, that's kind of an easy way to explain away the shenanigans in a way. But then couldn't you just use like your medical technology to do that? And again, I feel like it's suffering because this is the beginning of this show. So maybe they haven't really explored all of the sci-fi stuff that I have explored in my life.
Like his memory.
Maybe they didn't reach for that. I don't know. So the time stuff didn't work for me, but there were some fun parts of this, and this did have a lot of humor to it. There was not only, obviously the fight sequence, which I don't think was meant to be funny, but
there was some deliberate humor, and that was my next point as well. I kind of give this episode a pass because it's really funny. Like, there are some beats, like when the guard is like, "I'm gonna put you in prison for 200 years," and Kirk's just like, "Yeah, that'll do it." Because they've come from the 2260s. And it's so great. It's like eyeballs the camera. It's like, yep.
Yeah.
That would work out great, actually, if you could do that.
The idea that a person would be so stunned by arriving that their brain would put them into a freeze state, and that you would just
it's my favorite part of the episode.
Stand there while Bones just comes up and just takes your weapon. Like, I got your weapon.
Whoever cast this guy.
It was great.
A genius, because he is just perfect.
It was so funny.
The only thing I wish they'd done is kept him on the transporter
the
pad
whole
the entire time. And when they have to beam Kirk and everyone back, Spock just like manhandles him and just like picks him up, puts him down over there, and then puts him back in place. And he's just terrified, frozen in shock. McCoy could be like, Transporter Chief, did you put like a restraining field on him? And he's like, nope, guy's just frozen. But his facial expression is just priceless. It's so good.
I wasn't expecting that. I know there actually is a state where like if you're under extreme duress or fear that you can just like literally freeze. Watching it happen was really, really interesting. He had a weapon. He could have, shot people. He could have done all kinds of things, but he just stood there. That was funny. And then this all of the sudden, or at least for me, all of a sudden, because we're watching these episodes just dropping in and dropping out of the universe, but this all of the sudden computer just being this sassy female.
I don't know why. I don't know what that has to do with the episode.
Well, somebody in the chat said that this episode was written by a woman and that was the first episode to be written by a woman. So I wonder if she decided to do something funny and the computer voice is female from here out, maybe?
Yeah, and I don't know for certain, but I think it's Majel Barrett. Like
it sounds similar.
It sounded very similar to her, and I wouldn't be surprised.
It's just a funny thing to think that they explain that they went, and they're just talking so casually with this Captain Christopher character. Yeah, we went to this planet run by women, which at that time, for me, I'm just like, that doesn't seem like a weird concept. But then I have to remember when this episode came out, right? Like that would have been
even
strange.
Questioning that there are women in the military. Like, he's questioning why there are women on board the Enterprise.
Yeah, that seems to be more interesting to him than being beamed onto a fucking UFO.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, shocking that females can do things, Right. So that was kind of a funny beat, and it kind of hits, and then it's like one of those jokes that goes on a little bit too long, and then it eventually becomes funny. Because at first I thought, ooh, that feels icky, and then I realized, they've been trolled and they're realizing it, and it's sort of an annoying thing that there's this female voice, and that got me. I really did enjoy that.
I enjoy it. I have this vision in my head of TOS being a bit stuffy sometimes and very serious. So when I see these humor moments, I'm like, this would like work today in some ways. Like maybe not Spock being like, and of course it's a woman. Like Spock comes off as the most sexist in all of this because he's like shocked and irritated that the computer is a female. But the fact that it continues to go on and call him dear, and its feelings get hurt when he's like, I recommend that it gets completely like upgraded or like thrown away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of has this sentient sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
Like where it knows it's being sassy. And it's a fun way for a female character to be introduced into this series that's not necessarily like Lieutenant Uhura. Is that what she's a lieutenant?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She is, yeah.
So for her, that character who has no speaking lines at all, pretty much.
No.
She's on the bridge, so that's a good thing. That we have a woman of color on the bridge. We are winning at something. But then like there's this new character and it's just the computer voice, but it's like a sassy one. That's really fun. I really enjoyed that.
It would have been fun if they'd carried on with it, but never again to be seen. Nope.
Oh, that's sad. Well, I enjoyed it in this one.
Never seen again. Well, obviously in a movie, but never in the actual series.
And rightfully so. You really do write yourself into a pickle when you introduce time travel, as we have said.
Absolutely. I do want to address one thing that I've been noodling in my brain. It was going to be a sin, but I think it's deliberate. And Kirk, when he's giving information to Captain Christopher, which he absolutely shouldn't be, he says that they're from the United Earth Space Probe Agency. And to what you said earlier, I wondered if it was just the rulebook hadn't been written yet, and maybe that was like a subsection of Starfleet. But I think he literally is making it up on the spot. It's just not delivered as tongue-in-cheek as I would imagine. Like, I would imagine more of a wink to the camera if he was, like, making it up, or, like, tell Spock, I just made up the Space Probe Agency, run with it.
Yeah.
But for a second there, I thought, oh, is that what Starfleet was originally called? That's shit. No wonder they abandoned that. It sounds horrible.
Yeah. What other things did we really enjoy? Let me look back at my notes here.
Yeah, I don't have a lot else. I mean, I always enjoy going back to TOS just for like the uniform and the sound effects.
uniform. Let's talk about uniform, and let's talk about how we're making food. So
Yes.
what happened? Because he had something in his hand and then he put it into a slot and then the food came.
So I haven't done a deep dive into this. My headcanon has always been that they have a selection of food to choose from, and then the cards have different categories on them. But the problem is he put the card in and then didn't do anything else. So is that one card chicken soup? And it's very lucky that he only had 5 cards and one of them happened to be chicken soup. I think there's something more involved to it than that, though. I think it doesn't have the selection of the replicators, but it has more than
interesting
a usual cafeteria.
But so he had to have had chicken soup in his hand, and it just so happened that the guy asked for chicken soup? Or is it they say, what do you want to eat? He presses a recorder and the guy says chicken soup, and then it does it.
I think it's got to be listening, because as we see it on screen, because I was really paying attention to this, the guy said, like, what do you want to eat? And he says, yeah, I would love some chicken soup. The guy looks down, the transporter chief, picks the card, puts it in, soup happens. Like, there is no extra button being pushed here. So the computer must have heard that. He selects, oh, I'm going to go with appetizers or soups, and I'll put that in. And then it heard that he wanted chicken soup.
That's what I thought. I thought the computer maybe overheard it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the idea of the moment is to shock this guy with how we can instantly prepare food, but they didn't really put all of the steps in that I would expect.
And is this the first time we've seen food in the transporter room?
Yeah, 100%.
Or
yeah,
are they in every room? I mean, people get hungry.
Nope. I mean,
No?
I see them in quarters and in the mess hall. I haven't ever seen them in the bloody transporter room. Why would they be in the transporter room? I mean, it makes sense because it uses a similar technology, like the replicators.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But I just don't know why. And there are 3 slots. There are 3 food portals in there. How hungry are you getting?
I mean,
How many
very.
people are in that room?
Transporting takes a long time.
Very interesting.
Also,
they clearly didn't want to leave the transporter room.
Let's talk about clothes now. That transporter robe is legit.
Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
It's like a fuchsia, kind of like robe. That when I first saw the guy, I didn't realize where we were on the ship, and I thought he was like stumbling after waking up, and this was just his waking up gear.
Well, it was purely a budget thing. Like, they couldn't afford to make uniforms for everybody, so a lot of the engineers do just literally wear bathrobes that are colored. Like, that was a purely budget thing.
So why not give the Earth guy robes?
Yeah, why give him a uniform? Great point.
I kind of liked it. I liked seeing him. I thought it looked kind of cool.
Although they don't give him the captain rank. They give him, I think it's a lieutenant rank on his, like, on the gold bands on his sleeve. He doesn't have the same as Spock or Kirk, but he does have 1 band. So it's interesting that they disrespect him by not letting him be a pretend captain.
I mean, the whole thing with him is strange. You know, he's been kidnapped. He has been held prisoner. He's been told his life is useless. His wife and his children don't matter.
Spock's just like, you were of no consequence to the history of time. You could disappear today. No one will notice.
Like, that is such a good insult to just have in the back of your mind if you get into an argument with someone.
Yeah, I looked into the future. You mean nothing.
Yeah. I looked into the future.
Yeah. Your impact on me is your greatest impact.
And then he has to make himself relevant again by saying, I have information you need, and so I have to go with you, which Spock accounts for and then, tricks him and knocks him out. But he nearly got away.
Yep.
I kind of enjoyed that part. But I just wondered why he was in a Starfleet uniform. He would have run out of there in what people would probably presume were pajamas.
Yeah, just give him anything. I think they just really liked the idea of old Earth person being in uniform for some reason. But it's a really jarring choice. It's really, really strange that they did that. Like, they wouldn't do that in TNG. Like, they're very protective about the uniform. They don't like Q wearing it.
Right.
They don't just hand that out. They wouldn't even let Wesley wear a proper uniform
Poor Wesley.
until he's commissioned.
Another thing I thought was going to happen in this episode that didn't is I thought that they were going to continue to accidentally beam people on board.
Oh, it's hilarious, isn't it?
I did like the comedy beats, and I did really enjoy that accident. Although I don't understand how it works because I thought beaming can kind of lock on differently. But again, I'm coming in on TNG, and I'm coming in after all these conversations with you about how this technology works, and who knows how it worked in the beginning. But like, okay, you're beaming up the wrong person. Here he is. How funny would it have been if that kept happening? And now they have this really big problem on their hands.
It would have been amazing because they would have to like keep going back in time to different points, and that could have been like the direction that they had to take this. Like they have like a little production line of people like, okay, and now you beam, and now you beam, and now you beam, because they just keep fucking up. And the lesson is, don't try and do anything with time travel. Just stop it. Blow up the ship immediately.
Yeah.
Well, was there anything else? Oh, no, sorry. I did want to mention that I love going back to the transporter room. Like when you said the transporter chief, I thought you meant the room. And this might be my favorite transporter room. I love it so much. I love the pan. I love the things that poke out of the ceilings. I love the effect.
Do you love how they had to kind of scoot the guy back on his little platform? Like this way?
Me so much because in TNT sometimes they get the spacings wrong, and I'm like, you're going to lose an arm. And I want to know how dangerous it is for him to like not be completely on that pad. Yeah, it's so fun. Any chance to see transporter beaming is so good. Well, before we get into some sins, give us some pips, Ambassador.
Okay, so I'm going to give this one some pretty interesting pips. Let me think about this. I like that we got to continue to see the world of Star Trek. I got to see the engine room, which I really wanted to pause on that moment, but we can't because we're like doing a live show immediately. But there was a fence almost in there. Yes. It was very industrial looking. And I kind of wanted to go back in there and see more about what the engine room looked like because it's such a prime space on TNG.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's such a stark comparison between TNG and TOS because you've basically seen all of the engine room that we get to see. Like to the left, there's a walkway that they kind of climb a ladder to get up to, and there's like another console on the wall that's kind of behind the camera. There are some more consoles, but it's very, very bare. And behind that fencing grate is the warp core. Like the warp core was treated like this nuclear submarine thing that you
as
don't
it
want to
should,
get to, as we fucking should, and it's like protected and it's put out of the way. Whereas we're used to like seeing this iconic symbol of warp drive, like the warp core in TNG, Voyager. It's this central focal point that we get to look at. In TOS, it's just this big fucking unit that's behind a fence.
Yeah. And I like to see how those sets are. I mean, the TOS sets are interesting also in that we're on episode, and I don't know what order they would have been like filmed in, but it's been long enough that some shenanigans have happened in this room because even in the bridge, there are these squares like up around the top part of the bridge that are very clearly made of paper. Just gray paper.
And they're like crumpled.
How do we
wave in them?
Yeah. And so what's on their screen is a printout of what it would be. And I just have such mad respect for what it takes to do something like this because like you look at Strange New Worlds and their sets are phenomenal. The first one that pops into my mind is those episodes where you have Spock and I think Uhura going into that cave with all the lights and just these
musical comment.
Incredible things we can imagine now. We can use CGI to bring it to life, and you've got these like computer geniuses that are painting these amazing things for us. But there's something about like craft paper stuck to a wall that just got a special place in my heart.
I have two monitors in this room, not including my phone, which is a tiny monitor. They could not afford on one of the most premier TV shows that is out there. They couldn't afford to have that many monitors in the room. You got to do it with paper. Like that planet that's on that sensor, same planet every episode. They are obsessed with having that planet on that screen. And the fanciest thing you get is that like kind of at Spock's station, the wavy like
Oh,
infrared
yeah.
radar
Mhm.
like spectral thing that's going. That blew the
Yeah.
budget out the wall. And it's amazing like what I kind of I wish it was acceptable to go back to that a little bit. There's a movie I watched recently, Expendables 4, and I shit you not, they CGI'd houses. They're in a street. And either the lighting is terrible or it's literally CG. You've got Stallone and Statham standing in front of just a suburban neighborhood, and the houses are CG. And I'm like, are we at a point now where it is literally easier to CG everything and cheaper than to film on location, physical, real things? And you lose some of it. You lose some texture. You lose some kind of just in there-ness of it all.
There is something about being in a universe, and I'm getting to my pips, but like it stands out to me because it's the way that this is being acted that brings it to life. And I'm amazed that even though I'm watching something that has paper crumpled cardboard stuff on a wall, I am in it and I believe it's happening because everyone is so committed. And there's this joy that's happening on the set in unique ways where they're really thinking about what it would be like to be these people. For example, when Sulu and Kirk beam down and they're just walking around, they're so happy to be in this hallway touching like a wall that has announcements on it and things like that.
Physical paper.
Yeah, it makes it hard for me to sit in a way because I'm having so much fun watching them that I'm forgetting to ask questions like, why didn't you just try to wear a different piece of clothing? You know, things like that. But but it's just a real special thing. There's something special going on with TOS. And I can see why people went and picketed to make sure that it came back.
I love that you can see that, especially with like modern day eyes. There's like for all of Shatner's foibles, there is almost like a humbleness to everyone being on like this show and being on this set, and you can even every episode feel how special everyone feels to be on a spaceship as their fucking job.
It's fun.
And like Leonard Nimoy sucks me in every time. Like Spock is so consistent. He's so reliable to act the way he is, and he has to act like an alien. Like it's so clever. It's so
another thing that I consider in this moment when Bones is like, shouldn't you be thinking about something? And he's like, I am.
Oh, it's so good.
And there's just this power in how it's written. There's a power in how it's performed. We got to see the dynamics. We got to see the dynamics of the team. We got to see some shenanigans. We got to see them wrestle with like moral decisions in a way. We got to see some really fun exterior shots of the ship in space. Like that whole bar, like going around the sun with the sun spike coming out. That must have looked amazing when it was on TV.
Well, it would have looked amazing in the 90s when they remastered it. That's not
okay, so what was the original?
Footage. So the original, I think they do a shot around the sun, but it's just lower quality. It's not as good as what we're seeing now, but the heart of it is still there from what I can remember.
It is so fun to watch, and how they're clinging to their space. Again, it makes me forget, like, okay, so if this is how much damage it's causing them, and this is like pulling them around, why didn't they tell all the other people that they needed to batten down the hatches because there's someone on the shitter right now that is covered in feces, right? Like, we got to think about the people who are pooping.
However, this will be a sin removal. It's so dumb, but they're leaning in the right direction. Which is really fun as they slingshot around the sun. They're leaning the way that G-force is, however that works when you're slingshotting around the sun. They're leaning in the correct direction, which is just, I always give like a little tip of the hat to getting that right.
I think ultimately I give this one 3.5 maybe pips because I think I had a good time watching it. I don't think I'm going to land on the end of a time travel episode going, yeah, that makes sense. But
cause and effect. We already did.
We should have never started with that one. That should have been the end.
And
because
actually, it doesn't make sense. They should not be able to communicate information between loops. Sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. Well, no, because there was that interference conversation. There was like an echo thing happening.
The Decian field. Yeah. Okay. The chronometer shouldn't have changed. this shit. And in the Sins, because I've got things about this shit chronometer as well. Fucking don't mention chronometers. They shouldn't work in time travel.
I can't really go up higher. I think the reason I'm giving it a 3 is because it's doing something really unique. It's bringing somebody aboard, and they didn't do a thing where that person was like, "Wow, this is so cool." He's like, "How do I leave this ship?"
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna give it a 3. It might slip down to a 2.5 because I checked the clock a couple times. I did feel the pacing on it.
Like the chronometer, and it was going backwards.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like this is a pacing that makes sense for when it was released. I feel like our pacing is different now. We fill every second with something. 15 seconds is long enough for us to be entertained. So it's something that like I kind of on TOS adjust it a little bit. There's a chronometer adjustment. A Dekion.
Yeah. Chronoton flux is adjusted like 0.03.
Yeah, I flux my chronotons.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. He says, "Thank you for giving me a glimpse into the future, Captain." And he says, "You're welcome," and doesn't say, "You won't remember that you're about to die."
That is what happens, right? Like they die.
They literally die.
Yeah.
They absolutely die.
We watched people die.
Yeah, 100%.
Happily.
They got beamed. They were just vaporized. I don't know why they bothered beaming anybody. Just kill them, like because their bodies are still there. The Enterprise just disappears. It makes no. I've never thought about it before, but it makes no sense. You do not need to beam them. You're just making it. You just put them in a like disposal chute.
Yeah, they could have just beamed him to space and it would
comfortably forgot about them. Just beam them to the Klingon ship. Yeah, it's 3 pips from me. Mainly, I can't help but laugh at the I enjoy the fighting. I enjoy the humor. I enjoy the security guard that's frozen in place. I enjoy the Spock banter. But time travel episodes really get elevated when the time travel makes even 1% sense. And this is so nonsensical that it is super distracting. But I do have a good time.
They just flung themselves into the future.
They literally, we're just going to go around the sun, and he's going to compute that in his head because that's how it happens. Makes me wonder why they ever need a ship's computer if they have Spock. Anyway, now that we've done that, let's do some sins. Battle stations, everyone, red alert. Did you realize last week I didn't do an intro for the sins at all? Didn't do the intro. I had to record it while I was editing.
Last week is a blur to me.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. This is the part of the show where we re-engage our sin brains, remind ourselves that the TV shows without sin, even our beloved Star Trek. To be fair, I think Red Alert has been up the entire time. The crux of the sins we kind of did in the main body of the show. Any silly, nitpicky sins you've got?
I don't know how to not sin that their belts are being held on by Velcro.
Wait, what's wrong with that?
I just feel like in the future there's something better than Velcro.
Don't improve on perfection. Velcro was given to us by the Vulcans, Danae, and I'm not kidding. That is canon.
Wait, you're fucking with me.
That's canon.
No, you're fucking with me. I don't believe you. Until the chat confirms, I don't believe anything that you say.
It. I don't want to say any more because it is obviously a time travel episode as well. But I mean, oh man, it would...
Velcro is a nightmare. Velcro, it gets hair in it. It gets all kinds of stuff. It does it. Velcro cannot be the choice for belt in the future. The chat is just telling me that you're telling the truth. And I know that they would like come at you if you were bullshitting me.
Oh, for sure. They don't let me bullshit you too much.
Oh, it says Ian is right for once. God, why are we Velcroing? Although it does make a really funny sound as he's taking off the belt.
I think it was because the Vulcans were like, this is going to piss people off. Let's give it to the humans. We don't use this shit anymore.
Oh my God.
The humans.
Like we're being trolled by the future Vulcans because like,
100%.
no, let's give the humans something that we think is ridiculous. And they don't even know.
They're going to think this is useful, but it's going to put them back 300 years.
Oh my God. As soon as he ripped off his belt and I heard the crunching of Velcro, I was like, no, please.
Please, in the 2260s, let us have moved beyond Velcro.
I know that magnets fuck things up too, but just something more interesting than Velcro.
Yeah. No,
I
get it.
have long hair, and
It's so
if
simple.
it gets stuck in everything, and then you just have to pick out all the no.
It's amazing. It's brilliant. My one is this fucking chronometer that's in Kirk's chair. Spock is like, if you check the chronometer, that's going to start going backwards. The only way I can rationalize that in my head, and this isn't what the show pitches it as at all, is that this is a specially calibrated chronometer just to track this time warp. Because if that's the ship's chronometer that's going backwards, it means every fucking thing on the ship is going backwards, including the Enterprise, including the people, including the engines, which means they're not going towards the sun anymore, which means as soon as they start going towards the sun, they start going backwards, and that prevents them from going towards the sun. Like, I can kind of buy it other than the chronometer, because if Kirk, Spock, everybody is isolated from the effects of going back in time until they're actually going back in time, why is the chronometer going backwards? Why isn't the ship going backwards? It's so confusing to me. I don't understand how that chronometer, everything should be going backwards, in summary, including the plot. Time. How does it work?
Time. How does it work? I was just thinking about a sin and then realizing that the show undoes itself. So that sin doesn't count. So I'm going to go to another
Never
one.
know, audience. You'll never know.
I like the idea where they're like, let's turn off the tractor beam and then not really worry about whatever happens to the falling space debris. Like, they are super okay with just killing a whole bunch of people.
They really should take the debris on board
Take it,
as well.
take it
Yeah.
into space.
Yeah.
Just keep it on and keep going.
Let it be a mystery for TNG. I was like,
It just
how
disappears.
is this fighter jet from the 60s orbiting the moon? Like, how did that happen?
It doesn't even pay off. When they started talking about the debris, and I thought about them returning Captain Christopher and maybe beaming him down underneath some debris, so it looks like they just missed him on the first pass or something clever. Yeah, something like that. But no, like, they're just totally fine with just dumping a massive ship from orbit.
They overcomplicate
Not orbit,
this.
but atmosphere.
Far too much. They really do. My next one was, and you might have an explanation for this, Danae, but Christopher gives them a map of the base, roughly.
Yes, he uses an Etch-a-Sketch to do so.
Literally uses the smallest Etch-a-Sketch I've ever seen. Like, he's going to need 14 of those to actually map out this compound. But why do they beam into a hallway then? Like, Kirk and Sulu beam into a hallway and then eventually find the records room. I don't know what's stopping them from beaming into the records room straight away.
The whole entire scene is just silliness.
Yeah.
Everything is just silliness. Why not beam down, beam into a room, beam into another room?
Yeah.
You know, we
Blow
have
up
a
the base.
we have a
Torpedo it.
lot of weird things going on when they like go around, but obviously they want to have like a sneaky Kirk is being sneaky moment.
Yeah. They want to have everyone touching the walls and stuff. It's just transporters just not being specific enough until you really want them to be super specific.
It is interesting to see, again, these shows sort of capture in time for us certain things that I don't think about. It is interesting to see how the records room is like film reel, and how much storage space there must be for all of this stuff to exist, because they have massive, cassette tapes, essentially.
You're talking about kilobytes of data. Not even megabytes yet.
I was looking up some statistics. I was working on a script recently, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. The movie had a milkman, and so I thought, okay, well, milkmen they stopped delivering milk at a certain point in time. So where are we in the history of the United States? And then all of a sudden, they're showing an Apple computer, and so I was trying to like figure out if I could pinpoint and sin the coexistence of a milkman and this Apple computer. And so I took a picture of the computer, and then I did a reverse image search to find which computer it was.
Nice.
Because it was a very unique one. So it had some features that were pretty obvious. And then I was reading the specs on the computer and just like, holy shit, the things that used to just work for us. And you know, different times.
Expectations.
Massive thing. Like when we first visited, when I was in school, the NASA, and saw the room that contained the computer that launched us into space.
And the book of code that's like 12 foot tall.
And it filled an entire room. And they said, now what you have, like the computers that you have at home are more powerful than this computer. And now they say the phone in your pocket is more powerful than the, you know, and it's just
than the Apollo computer.
So
for sure.
mind-boggling.
Yeah, absolutely mind-boggling.
I kind of liked going through that space, but it was so stupid.
It's so dumb. It's like, oh, I've seen this in a museum. I understand how this works. Wow, how did that work out? Like, there's no way in the 2200s they're doing like, well, they might be, but like cassettes, like an actual working example of a cassette thing would be just wild that they'd seen it. But yeah, it's amazing. Anything else? That's absolutely everything. It was mainly like Spock is dumb until he needs to be smart. Spock ruins this guy by saying he has no contribution to
absolutely
history.
Ruined him. I wrote, oh shit, Spock, that was
why did this guy hurt you?
That was intense.
It's almost like in the records he found a feud between his family and the Christopher family, and it's like, this is my time.
No relevant contribution by John Christopher. Like, wow.
But I guess he's evolved.
Damn.
He doesn't really care about that stuff, but it's wild. I think that's everything that I've got, Ambassador, unless you have any more.
There's my note. Why is this man in a robe?
Budgetary reasons.
Let's see. I really enjoyed the part where Kirk was answering their questions genuinely when he was being, interrogated, and they're like, "Who are you?" And that was the sin that I was trying to do in my head earlier that kind of undoes itself, is he's honest about all of that. But then if the future or the past, whatever is erased, then it doesn't really matter. But I did like that. So maybe it would be a bit of like a sin and then a sin removal sort of situation.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yep. And that came up in the chat too. So that was on my notes. I think we already talked about everything else. Oh, I would sin that this episode is not called Prisoner in Time.
Oh, nice.
Because Christopher says you're as much a prisoner in time as I am. And I thought that was really profound.
Yeah, they're all prisoners. Yeah, love that.
That's what I would sin. Well, that's the better
Tomorrow
episode
is yesterday.
title. Tomorrow is yesterday is so fucking stupid. Sorry.
Biggest sin of the episode, the title. That's amazing.
Here's my notes. Sulu, whack. Spock, touch. Kirk, punch. Sun,
body punch.
Sun, slingshot.
Yes.
Just like these two. They just got this series.
That's how it was pitched to Gene Roddenberry. Yeah. You're going to love this episode, my friend. I promise.
Okay. Here's my biggest sin of the episode, and then I'm done.
Okay.
It's time to send Christopher to his death. I mean, back in time. I mean, wherever. Yep. Beam him back. And so Kirk calls him to say, peace out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Walks over.
Yeah.
And touches the console as if he knows what any of the buttons do.
When did he get a crash course in how the communication station works?
Where is Robe Man?
Yeah.
Can Robe Man not like? He's kind of like, thanks, Kirk. Like,
yeah, right.
Get your hands off the buttons.
An hour.
I don't know. How does he do that?
Please stop touching the thing that can dematerialize everybody.
I realize that they showed you far too much of this ship. Yeah. And that you shouldn't know the things you know, and you shouldn't have seen the things. But how is anybody that's working on the ship not going, no? Like,
don't.
He's reaching over so many important things. It would be like releasing my daughter into a room and then just not stopping her when she touches something. Like
Touch all the things. I don't know what situation comes about where it's a priority for him to be told how to use that.
I once went to a decommissioned naval ship and they had it in the harbor, and you could like
was
go
it decommissioned before or after you went on board? Did they decommission it because of you?
When we walked through the control room, I pushed every red button I could get my hands on, and I was with someone who worked for the Navy, who was in the Navy, and he was shitting bricks.
Why? I hope none of that works.
This is what I said. I'm just like ping, 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 because of course they're not going to have anything plugged in because this is a decommissioned warship, and they know that children are going to walk through here and push every button. I am a child. Ping, 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 ping. I'm just literally like, there's knobs and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, this is the only time. And I'm just that. If he was shitting bricks on a decommissioned warship, there's no way that this man wasn't immediately tackled to the ground, is what I'm saying. That's my point.
For sure. Absolutely. He should have been beamed into space immediately. Don't reach for that button. That's amazing.
That'd be a hilarious end to his story.
Accidentally beams himself into space.
Yes.
I just wanted to reply to the email. The ending really is, I guess we won't be needing this anymore for all of those characters.
Oh, that's the perfect ending.
Great. Guess we won't be needing these people anymore.
Or just like,
I just want to sin it so bad.
If we were to like replay that scene, but with the beaming sound overlaid with like flesh squish.
Well, like in the motion picture. Yeah, like there's 2 people that die via transporter beam. So I would just like cut to the audio of that. It's like, this is what actually happens.
And like muffled screams. Like,
oh, Transporter Chief, did you get them? Whatever came back didn't last long, I think is the line. Amazing. Well, that's a probably our last venture into the original series time travel. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Danae. Next week's episode, we're going back to TNG for Yesterday's Enterprise. Oh, I'm so excited to do this episode tonight.
I don't know what to be excited about, but okie dokie.
Doesn't matter. Oh, Yesterday's Enterprise, everybody. But until then, you can send us some emails and stuff to captainspod@cinemasins.com. Reach out to us on Twitter or X at captainspodcs. Or you can, join the Discord at discord.gg/cinemasins, where we have a bubbling Star Trek conversation and episode recommendation threads and just a beautiful community of people. You guys are amazing as always. And until next week, I'm Captain Ian, and I've never believed in little green men.
Computed and recorded, dear.
Computed. Live long and prosper. Okay.
Are we doing Discovery as it airs? Let's
Absolutely
answer this question.
No, we're not.
I thought we were.
No.
I thought that was the plan.
We agreed weeks ago that was not the plan.
Oh, okay.
There's absolutely we could do it, but there are 4 seasons of this show that you haven't seen.
I thought we agreed that that'd be kind of fun, though. When is it starting?
Literally next week. It's April 5th, I think it returns.
I do not remember deciding we weren't going to do it. I thought we were going to do it.
We can do it.
I mean, that was the plan. I have at least one person in the chat that remembers. Look, we were defo going to do it. That's 2.
No,
that is 2 people.
It was briefly toyed with. Well, now I'm
title of
I'm
my sex tape.
We could
briefly toyed with.
We definitely could.
It was 100% happening. Now, technically, I can't count this one again because it's Sarah twice, but still. Mm-hmm. If we're watching old seasons, it has to be Lower Decks. But I thought we were just jumping right into Discovery, like in a chaotic fashion.
I mean, let's do it then. I've just got to re-record the end of the show.
Please no.
Wait, what do you mean, please no? Oh,
please
sorry,
no.
That was from the chat.
I never remember anyone agreeing to do Disco Watch because I would have flipped out if we did. But do it.
It's so divisive.
Whew, okay. Maybe we just do like 3 episodes.
I had lots of emails saying please don't do Discovery.
Really?
Yeah, I like Discovery. Oh, I probably won't put this in the show.
We
but-
had emails about
yeah, we had
not
emails
doing
saying
it?
please do not do Discovery. Mainly, a lot of people haven't
Me too,
watched
Sarah.
it. A lot of people haven't watched it. I like it. I really like season 4 was excellent, to be honest. It's really hard. I'm really conflicted because it's not like people are lukewarm. People are either like, let's do it, or please don't. It's really tricky.
Right. So sometimes whenever we release episodes that are releasing with the current Star Trek, that's how people are finding our show too, is that they're doing a watch along.
Yeah,
so if we're wanting to reach a new audience, we could release them. But if we're going to do it, like, do we kind of, we could,
I think we'd be doing all or nothing because there's no way to like.
You don't want to like toes in, toes out.
Yeah, because it's an ongoing story. Like it's an ongoing 10-part narrative. Yeah, 10 episodes, I think.
Okay. What if we did, this is crazy. You're going to hate this idea so much.
Yeah,
you're going to hate this. So I'm going to say it. We let 2 episodes pass, and then we do like 2 episodes and 1 episode of Captain's Pod. So we only have 5 episodes of Discovery. We finish up our time travel series, and we were like releasing them at the same time.
Whoa, wait, explain that again for me.
So we do
release 2 episodes a week.
So we do time travel next week.
Yeah.
And then the next week we do 2 episodes of Discovery, and then we do time. Hold on a second, my fingers. This is really hard to control.
I don't know why you've decided to do this.
But
what if
appropriate visual?
We could. I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
David Ellis says that the Discovery went big with time travel, so it might be a good little crossover
really
there.
It really did. Huge.
I suggest magic to make the sanest man go mad or whatever.
That's a great episode.
Every other week.
2 episodes in 1 pod. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We could.
Next week has the first 2 episodes of the new season of Discovery.
So we'd already be. We could, yeah, because they're releasing 2 at once.
We figured it out, I think. I don't like the silence.
No, I'm just. Ugh. It makes me want to vomit.
Is it kind of like how when you do the fast-paced intro, it makes me want to vomit?
I'll stop doing it.
Is it like that?
Probably.
Is it similar? Really? You hate it that much?
I think it's unnecessary. I like
love
silence.
Having background music.
I like silence.
Shit, we were so different. Can we even be friends?
Well, that's the worst. Put it back on.
Silence it is.
No, music's fine. Music's fine.
I don't believe you.
Man, that's a really interesting thought. The other thing I was thinking of is we could do like another 4 episodes of time travel and then do 5 weeks of Discovery back to back, 2 episodes of pod.
Yeah, the only reason I was thinking about like doing them in between is so that for the people who are really not liking Discovery, they know that every other week they have an episode.
They have something different to watch. Yeah.
But it would be weird because we usually do seasons. So we have a season of time travel, and then all of a sudden we would be releasing a series that would technically be.
Yeah.
But we also could do something kind of unique and release them all after it's come. Like the buzz is kind of gone though at that point. Yeah. But we could release them later.
No, because we still got to record.
We do have to record.
Yeah, we still got to release an episode each week. I'm not against it. Like I'm happy for it.
We could do Doctor Who. Oh, good suggestion,
Doctor Who instead. Amazing.
I'm here for it either way. I'll be watching Discovery, but it's going to be tough to get into the show going into season 5 cold.
Oh, I can do you a great little synopsis.
No,
Like,
I don't.
That won't be hard.
We just go in
Zero
totally
synopsis,
dry. I
straight
need to
in.
take this off. Yeah. But there are a lot of time. That's a thing. I mean, we're in a sci-fi series. There's going to be time travel just all around us. So we could do time travel season part 1, time travel season part 2.
Absolutely. Like we have so many great time travel episodes to do.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. We'll definitely be coming back to time travel.
Yeah, the only reason to make a decision now is for the appointment setting for next week for the
Yeah,
if we're going to switch
absolutely.
gears and do a little
Mhm.
Discovery. Do we need
There
to
is a
decide?
big part of me that doesn't want to not do it because I don't want to exclude Discovery. Like, we'll do Strange New Worlds, we'll do Lower Decks when it comes out, we'll do Section 31 when that movie lands. It does feel a bit weird that we're not covering Discovery. It does feel odd. I think we're gonna do it.
We have established that sci-fi brony. That is canon.
It's
Yes,
terrible,
yeah.
which is why it's so fun.
You'd watch it, but you're going to pout the whole time.
Okay, Slabs pushed us over the edge. We're gonna do it. Okay.
All right, let's
re-record. Let's re-record. I
re-record.
can't believe we're doing this. This is insane. Okay. Well, that's all for this week. That was nonsense. Well, Ambassador, that for now is the end of our series on time travel episodes. Super quick. What's been your standout one? What's your favorite? Knee-jerk
Oh,
reaction.
cause and effect, easy.
Hell yeah!
But I feel like we only like if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my god, there's so many more to consider. Yep, there are. We should definitely
Mhm.
revisit this time travel theme
Without
again.
a question. Even if you hated this, I would be coming back to time travel because it's my favorite theme in Star Trek, and it's kind of cool that we did one from TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, the original series. We will definitely be coming back to this topic.
Are there any that go into the future?
Yes, which leads us quite nicely into the next season of Captain's Pod. We're going to be doing Discovery, which, yes, actually does go into its own future. So we're going to be diving into season 5 of Discovery, which is going to be absolute chaos because
No
Ambassador,
lube.
how many episodes of Discovery have you watched?
0. I have no idea what it is. But this is what happened when we started to do Lower Decks. This is what happened when we started to do everything we've done. It's like, do you have any experience with this? Nope.
Discovery is the next live show that's going to be releasing week to week. So we will be covering each episode of Discovery as it lands.
So one of the reasons I like doing this is because it gives me a chance to be that unique viewer that is catching something on TV and wondering what's going on. And then I get to ask a lot of questions. So be prepared.
Absolutely. There's going to be lots of questions. I am ready. I have seen all of the episodes of Discovery. I don't know how I'm going to get you caught up. I don't think I need to. I think we'll just watch episode
Can we just
1.
not? I don't want to be caught up. Let me just figure it out as I go.
We'll watch episode 1, and any questions that come up, we will be we'll be talking about it because that's the fun of the show. So next week will be season 5, episode 1 of Discovery, which is fun. We haven't actually done a show that I haven't watched since Picard season 3, so this will be exposing me to new Star Trek as well, which is really fun.
Yep, I think you got it.
And then I've already got the outro for the rest of it. Now, if for whatever reason it doesn't work, then I can switch it back to because of course when I started recording that, we had release date issues.
Yep. That's what Sci-Fi
UK.
Brony just said. What day is it going to be if the recording is on Friday?
Yeah.
Ooh, what have we just stepped into?
So, comes out
Let's take a
on
look.
April the 4th.
Okay. That is a Thursday.
Yep, so that's the first 2 episodes.
Okay, so we'll have like a
Um,
longer episode.
Well, yeah, if you want to do both of them back to back.
If
So
we
yeah,
decide to
that'll be
do
for-
a 1-2 punch on that, we would just need to like decide that we're not going to be as thorough.
Or
Josh, we decided thanks to the chat reminding us that Discovery is starting to be released. There was a bit of a reminder that we had thought about doing Discovery, and Ian remembers deciding not to, but then after we talked about it, we decided to do Discovery. So we're going to have like time travel part 1. We'll do time travel episodes again, but we're going to be creating a podcast around the new releases of Discovery.
So I think we do both episodes next week, so then we keep in track. Otherwise, it's going to be so confusing with spoilers and whatnot.
It is sad sci-fi.
We'll be coming back to time travel, don't worry. Yeah, so we'll do episodes 1 and 2 of Discovery.
Slab says, yeah, do back to back because the always a week behind on Strange New Worlds was jarring.
Yeah.
Do we want? So we're gonna do one episode that's episode 1 and 2.
Yeah. So
okay,
I'm gonna say something so that I can splice it back into our conversation.
Okay, hold on. Let me do.
So next week we will be doing the season premiere and episode 2 of Discovery season 5 because they're releasing both episodes at once. We'll be doing a double bumper episode. Twofer. Same time. If you join us for the live show, it'll be Friday next week. Apologies to UK people if it hasn't completely launched for you by then.
Doesn't that include you?
That includes me, so I better not say that because that's going to expose
Don't
that I'm
say
using
that!
a body method to watch that. Okay. Reverse.
Nobody clip that.
Shut up, clip it. So next week we will be doing the season premiere of Discovery season 5 and episode 2 because they're releasing both at the same time. So we will have a bumper episode next week of Captain's Pod where we do 2 episodes in one. And then we'll be staying in lockstep with season 5, the final season of Discovery, as it airs each week.
Now, for those of you who are deciding to join the live show, I feel like we're going to have 4 hours of going live because you're going to have to explain some stuff. We're going to talk about episode 1. We're going to talk about episode 2. We're going to spend the whole day together.
It's going to be a long one.
Let's camp out.
Let's do it. Camping. I don't know technically how any of that is going to work, but yeah.
Camping? I'll help.
Nope.
Discovering?
Discovering? Ding.
Do you have what you need?
Yeah. I'll probably just do it from... Yeah, I'll find a way to splice that all together. Yeah, that's going to be good. Honestly, I felt a bit icky about not doing Discovery because there's no real... I mean, it's...
Do you have a false memory of us talking about... do I have a false memory? Do I not remember?
We talked about it, but it wasn't like... My memory, my recollection wasn't that we were definitely going to do that.
I was super excited about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really
I love the
cool.
idea of being completely dropped into something with no context.
I love that
it makes me so happy.
Oh, I love it.
Because it's like it's a true spoiler-free experience without context, and then I really get to test the puzzle brain that I have, where it's like, ooh, can I discern what's going on based on just what the writers are showing? Is there enough context here that it can pull in a new viewer? That's a really fun way for me to engage in the content.
And there's going to be so much fun stuff to talk about because this is the Star Trek that brought Star Trek back to the TV. Like, Strange New Worlds exists because of Discovery.
We will release an update. I think that we're going to have to both. So Ian and I are going to have to get together, watch 2 full episodes, take a break, still manage our workload that we have coming in on Fridays, then go live. And we'll probably do like an intermission or something, but we should do something fun. Doesn't Ian start April 4th, like 5 hours before the US? Why are there dodgy watch methods even needed? Great question. Ooh, predictions for Discovery? Ooh, sorry.
We'll do that in the intro of the show. So
I want to talk about predictions for Discovery now.
You can if you want.
They discover things. Oh, does that mean they're like a sciencey people?
That was the idea.
Fuck yeah, man. Look at me just piecing it all together already.
Oh, it's actually...
Oh, shit, David. Really? Oh, God. This is
actually
gonna be
coming out.
fun.
On exactly the same time, I think.
I think what we'll do is like legit take a full day, and you and I will, as soon as I am able to start my work day, we'll connect, and then we'll take like a little break in between watching, get some work done, watch the next one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, as long as we're taking notes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel it's going to be amazing because I don't know how many questions you're going to have. I don't know where you'll even start with the questions. It's going to be so.
I mean, me either. I mean, do we? This is crazy, but do we go? Do we watch episode 1, go live, talk about it, take a break, watch episode 2, come back and do another live show, and have 2 different times?
That's interesting.
Because then we're more like, it's either going to be everything all at once. We're talking about 1 and 2 as one kind of piece, or we're talking about 1 and then 2. And we can do it all in a single recording session.
Mm-hmm.
However we want to do that. But 2 will certainly influence how I feel about 1.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just thinking about how we do the sins. How would we break up the sins for that?
I think we save the sins and do them all as one piece at the end.
Do them all at the end.
Yeah. So we kind of do a synopsis.
I kind of like that because if we do episode 1 and episode 2 back to back, you might start merging things together and not be able to talk about it I don't know if we need to talk about it separately though.
But we would essentially go live 2 times on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on if 1 and 2 are a single plot or a split up story. That's true.
Well, it looks like they have their own individual episode titles, so I think they're going to be released as individual episodes.
I think it would take less time to do both at once, discuss what's happening in both instead of splitting it up and doing a 60-90-minute recap on each episode. Yeah. Plus, anyone who downloads this episode of Captain's Pod, it's going to be about 1 and 2 no matter what. So unless we are really wanting to release individual podcasts, it kind of makes sense to just do them at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that edit as well.
Yeah, it would be a beast.
As long as I think it'll work if we just keep our notes separate. So if if we're diligent about saying this episode, this is my notes. This episode, this is my notes.
Yeah, I can be diligent about. I mean, I usually write in chronological order of what's happening. I'm not just like picking a random spot on my Word document and just starting a new note.
Oh, I'm sorry for assuming you're chaos. I don't know where that came from.
That's okay. That's okay. I did actually do that once.
I mean, anyway, I would much rather.
I had to take a break. I went to the bathroom, and I came back, and somehow my cursor got moved.
Oh yeah.
So it was like I was reading it, and then all of a sudden there was all this, and I thought I wrote more, and I couldn't figure it out. And then after the show ended, I went down to the bottom. I was like, "There's all my other notes."
That's amazing.
I think you can make it worth discussing both together because they both give and take from each other.
Yeah, and I kind of like the idea of having the live broadcast as one ongoing thing as well, rather than breaking it up.
All you need to know about Disco is that the chief engineer was the original lead of Rent on Broadway. I mean, they've got to sing. If they don't sing on the show, then they're wasting this person.
I don't think he sung. No.
So we'll release our go live schedule, or do you want to try to keep it the same time, and then you and I just meet earlier in the day?
Yeah, I think it'll probably be. I think we just meet earlier and go live at the same time. Yeah, if we can get it, because instead of meeting, we usually meet at 11 p.m.
a.m.
A.m. Sorry, 11 p.m. 11 a.m. We'd meet at 10 instead. That gives us an hour to.
I think we need to do 9:30. We're probably going to need a little bit of a break
because if we're going to be checking in with work.
And I can't start any earlier than that. So
yeah, I think we meet at 9:30.
Okay,
we'll update the live broadcast if it's going to be delayed at all. It's going to be interesting.
I really appreciate you guys being a part of our creativity.
Yeah, it really is helpful. I'm really excited to do Discovery. I love watching Danae watch something brand new, and this is going to blow your socks off because it's so different to any track we've seen.
I'm excited.
Before.
Honestly, I'm ready for a shakeup. Fun fact, David, I used to do a report every Monday for the week for the team called The Synopsis. And it went over everything on everyone's schedules, all of our recording dates, all the different things we had going on, all of the content that we had currently in production, where it stood. Like, it was a very involved email, and it was called the synopsis.
It's amazing.
So very clever. Well, I'm ready to just play Minecraft all day.
Let's do it.
Are we gonna cast some Minecraft? We're just gonna fuck off and play Minecraft all the rest of the day.
Everybody will say yes to that.
Yeah, we do. So Ian and I have a world that we play in regularly. And thanks to his kindness, it's a world that also includes my mother. My mother's learned how to play Minecraft.
I spend a lot of my day playing Minecraft with Danae and her mum. That's my 9-to-5 job now.
That's right. It's very interesting to go on adventures with mom. Mom, if you're watching, I love you. She interacts with the game, differently. It takes her a while to remember how to turn around, stuff like that. But she also is very surprising because she wants to do crazy adventure stuff. There was one day we found the Deep Dark for the first time, and we wanted to show her the Guardian. There's this really, really scary creature that's in the game, and we discovered it. And so we took her to it.
The most pointless creature in the game as well, I think. The most pointless creature in the game. Does tons of damage,
it's not.
gives you nothing. Gives you nothing.
But it's intended to give you a scare. That's the whole point.
I want a reward.
You're more upset that you have to binge 2 seasons. You don't, though.
3 seasons.
You don't.
Oh, you've probably already done 1.
So anyway, we play in this world together. We have figured out some really fun little auto hacks. We have an automatic egg dispenser to build our chicken population. We've gone full on fucking nerd in this world, right? We have enough chicken that we could invite every single fucking person in this chat room to join our Minecraft. Everyone could take a full stack of chicken, survive for a really long time, and we would not have we have there's too much. We've collected too much. It's a lot of fun.
Kill box.
Yes, I kind of want to.
Box that we have.
It's really, really fun. But we do have the world that you and I started where we were doing our adventure, where we just wanted to get to the Nether. I think. Isn't that what our adventure was last time?
Yeah, the plan was to just get to the Nether.
Just get to the Nether, which we never did.
That's the plan. We didn't do it because I died.
So many times.
Actually, you died first, and then I died and had to come back and find you.
So, I have never found a shulker box.
That's because we haven't properly gone to the end yet.
We haven't.
That's the only place you can get.
We're going. I don't know what pace we're going at, but we're definitely going at that pace. Hi, Dirty Cheetah. And we haven't done the punch a ghast thing either. Oh, we were going to punch a ghast. Yes, that's what we were.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
You wanted to go and punch a ghast.
That was the goal in the Nether. Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was insane, and it is insane. It's so stupid.
You got distracted by a buried treasure.
I really do want to play Minecraft for real, though. It'd be a nice little palate cleanser. We've had the most insane. I've had an incredible work week. So much has happened, so I'm ready to just play.
Yeah. What do you mean, stream it?
Glacial pace. That's it. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, we can do it if you want. You can share your screen. I'll throw a different background on.
Well, I think we need to take a break and then come back, because I would like to get more coffee, go to the bathroom, check some emails, and then maybe about 4 p.m. Central. Do you want to Minecraft?
Yeah, sounds good. Works for me.
Okay, everybody. Well, we will be casting again probably about an hour. So if you haven't already subscribed in such a way that you can click a bell and get a notification, please feel free to do so. For those of you guys who are watching on YouTube, we will only be casting this to Twitch for right now. That I believe is the only place where. No. We can go to YouTube.
YouTube as well. Yeah. We can do YouTube. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So we will be on YouTube. You'll get a notification there. And join us. What we're going to do is just go to Minecraft. Now, because of the limitations of our current system, you will not be hearing the audio from the game. So we'll try to play some music, and then it'll just be, you'll hear us cursing our way through Minecraft. And we can actually, we can go on Twitter too, if we want to.
Yeah, it'll go on Twitter. Yeah, it'll go out to Twitter.
So we'll be back, and give us an hour. It might be just a bit after 4. That way we have some time to do some work stuff.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and enjoy the kickoff to the weekend with you guys.
You guys are the
Does
best.
that sound good?
Oh, yeah. And Link gets to be here this time.
Yay! Okay, so we'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye!